So yeah, we're streaming right now on Twitch and thinking up what we're gonna be talking about and stuff. Hopefully Pamela's still working because I completely forgot it's supposed to not stop working.
Oh yeah. When
But
does that
I
happen?
didn't get the message when I logged on, so it should be fine.
I think it's later in December.
Yeah,
I
hope,
remember.
hopefully. Someone was telling me about some solution to it, but I forgot and I didn't look into it, so now I had to ask them again about what it was. Hopefully it will save the podcast. Or save, yeah, the, yeah, stuff and stuff. Okay, so what you been playing? I don't think there's any news. Okay,
Is
so
there
what
any
you been
news?
playing?
Um,
I don't think there's any
hmm,
news.
Not really. I mean, it's just ongoing
Okay,
stuff.
so what you been
Battlefield 4
playing?
is still sort of broken, which is pretty sad because this should have been the year where they overtook Call of Duty, not in terms of sales, but in terms of being the complete package. And yeah. And then what's the other thing? Like microtransactions is apparently a really big topic right now on the Xbox end, but since we're not over there, I guess we have nothing to add to that.
216. Okay, time to start. Okay. It's really. Oh, did you have you played Batman at all? The DLC came out, and then I was like, oh man! It finally gave me like refresh of a reason to play, and I was like, yay, more new stuff.
No.
And it's interesting what they did because like instead of having it be like the Harley Quinn like actually DLC, it was like a set of challenges in a campaign that was like linked together through cutscenes, and it worked. But it's like it's not what I was wanting or expecting, but it like still worked. So I'm like, they could still do that like in the future, and it would be like okay. But it's like I kind of would rather have something on the scale of Harley Quinn, just better, since that was not a good story DLC.
Mm,
So I'm hoping that we get more stuff like that. But like either way, it kind of works like what they did. So I was like, that was interesting.
huh. Well, I'll be interested in seeing what you think
Yeah. Okay. Let
in
me
the next few minutes.
find the button to podcast with, or the button thingy. Oh, it looks like okay. Hopefully, okay. So yeah, it looks like nothing is messing up, and we're all good to go. Even though I'm uploading a video to YouTube, whatever. All right, pushing the button now.
This call is being recorded.
Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to Aimless Babble Z, episode 216. I'm Ticketmaster, joined by.
Traptical, welcome back.
So yeah, hope you had a good break. And we're back, ready to take on stuff we've been playing, and Black Friday Fallout, and a few new stuff. So yeah, Traptical, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
Sure. Well, I suppose the most interesting thing for this podcast is that I finally got Mass Effect 1 on PS3 and started that up.
Yeah.
So, because Tiger Fox was taunting me. He was like, "Oh, I'm somewhere meeting some fleet or something in Mass Effect 3," and I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna lose." Especially since I'm starting from game one.
It's hard.
Um,
Typical. I can race you since I still haven't played it on PS3 yet, or finished my playthrough I started all that time ago.
Man, I don't. Yeah, it. We were talking about how would it be possible to beat all three games in 24 hours? Yeah, that's clearly no. Because I have actually played the first one on PC. Well, I don't know what do you call skimming? I skimmed the game on PC, and now I'm playing it, and yeah, it's been 5 hours, and I've only gotten through the Citadel part at the very beginning. And it's like, oh my gosh, maybe it. Yeah, I think this is gonna take longer than 24 hours, so I'll be there a while. Man, this time I saw a lot of places I've never seen before.
Or did
I remember
you actually did some side quests this time?
I did some side quests because I don't know, it didn't, or no, I remember originally I played it long before, like way back when it almost when it first came out, and I played or on PC, and I sort of played it, and I was like, man, I'm bored. There's just all these people, and they want me to do stuff for them, and it's just like, no more. So I stopped playing way back then, and the one that really killed me was the one where the guy asked you to scan the keepers, and I was like, okay, I'll go look for him. And I went around looking for him, and later I found out, oh my gosh, there's what, 20 some, 22, 23, I don't know. There's 20 some of them, and you're just running around the whole place like, that's it. And I quit way back then. And then later I decided, after the podcast, like, okay, I'm gonna beat the first one. And so when I reached the point where the guy offers me the quest to scan, or I realized that time that he doesn't even offer you the quest. He's just like, you get the dialogue option to just volunteer to help. It's like, he didn't ask for help, and I said, okay, bye. And then I beat the game that time by just running through everything. This time I guess I'm in a different state of mind, and I was just like, okay, fine, we're gonna do this. And yeah, it was weird because the playthrough I have most fresh in my memory, the Citadel like fast transit system, I had no destinations on there at all. I had like the tower and the embassies and like CSEC, I think, and just like all the other ones I didn't have on there. And then this time it's like I was walking around and like, oh, this place isn't, I mean, it's pretty big, but it's not as big as I thought it was. And so I actually saw most of the places you can go, and it's like, I'm kind of getting into it. But well, we'll see what happens. Again, I got to the point, it's like, oh, I did some quests that I hadn't seen before. It's like, oh, I haven't seen this, and then obviously I had to go back onto the main quest. Like, I've done this before. I really don't want to go there.
So when you played it the first time, were you Paragon or Renegade? Or just random?
Yeah, the time that I actually beat it, I played as naturally as possible, so it was for the most part Paragon. Okay. But it wasn't like I didn't go for the good choice. I just went for, and it's sort of weird. Like sometimes the dialogue choices don't, what they write on the interface seems different than how he says it in the dialogue. Like sometimes it seems like, oh, he's just acknowledging or whatever, and then the character delivers the line and it's like very forceful. It's like, well, that's not what I meant at all. And yeah. Oh, a question. So Ashley, when she first gets on the ship, she's like, oh, she's sorry about Jenkins who died.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh, if he hadn't died, I might not be here. Does that make any sense?
If he hadn't died, I might not be here.
Because it seemed like this time when I played it and she said that, I was like, that's a very weird thing to say. I mean, if he had lived and we found you, then there would have been 4 of us, except for the limitations of the game. In the fiction, there could have been 4 of us running around. So why would it have been the case is like my party member died and that was the only way you could join my party.
Maybe she was just like, it's too bad that he died because you guys were trying to save us down on Eden Prime. I guess, I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I figured maybe there was a line that I didn't go into. Yeah, like some of the stuff I'm not investigating as much as I once did in the dialogue trees. It's just like, it seems weird to just break the conversation and go off on a tangent. It's not aimless effect.
Sometimes you can also, like, when the conversation's over, well, usually in the first game anyway, like 2 and 3 is not so much, but like when you're in the conversation, and you like just talk and whatever, after you like talk and like you can go back to them and like investigate whatever it is they were talking about in the first place. You can go back and investigate more.
Well,
to not break the flow of the conversation.
Yeah, this time it's just like, oh, I didn't investigate. So I think there was a part where I could have investigated. It's like, oh, what is Williams doing here? And maybe that would have cleared that up. But yeah, it struck me as strange. Like, what are you saying? Did you kill Jenkins? Yeah. Other than that, it's are sniper rifles really bad in the first one?
They overheat a lot easier than everything else. You can only take a few shots before they overheat.
Okay. No, it's primarily aiming is my issue. It was really easy on PC because it was on mouse, but with the sticks, like, wow, it is like there is no way to stabilize where this scope is, and even if I hit it at the right moment, it's not a guarantee that the bullet will hit my target. It's like, I'll just use the pistol.
Yeah, I very rarely use the sniper rifle in Mass Effect 1. I was usually either shotgun, pistol, and then, like, if I was a soldier, assault rifle.
Yeah, this time I'm playing. I guess that's the difference. This time I'm playing as a
Engineer?
infiltrator.
Eh.
Why engineer?
They're like the best class in the game, Tropical. Gosh.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Or at least they turn out to be once you finally get into the game, or the later games.
That was my first choice when I was sitting there thinking about it, but then I was like, well, don't we get joined by an engineer later? Sort of.
Yeah, that's a good point.
People
you do get like all the different stuff anyway, 'cause you have all the other stuff, people with those powers in your class or your party. So
It's like, there are people made robot people, so yeah, I don't need to do that. So yeah, Mass Effect begins again, and I think that's the one I'm gonna concentrate on. I think it was a few days after I moved to my new house, and a few weeks ago, I opened up my giant collection, my giant backlog, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna play? And to cut down all the decision making that usually stops me from playing, I just decided, I'll just go down the list. So open up page 1, whatever the first disc is, I'll beat that one. And it was PlayStation Move Heroes. And I was like, I think I've beat this one enough. Okay, here, new rule. If I've played through the story mode, then I will skip that one and then come back to it later, maybe, to beat it more completely.
Yeah, you should like make up rules for games that are like non-traditionally non-linear, of like, oh, it's not a story with a campaign that can just go from the beginning to the end. That's
Well,
not fair at all.
Move Heroes does have a campaign that you go through. It's just it's very loosely strung together by random gameplay, and I've already beat the campaign, but like there is more to play, and I was just I don't feel like playing that one right now. I was like, okay, next one. Sorcery. I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't have my move control right now, so no move games. And yeah, so that didn't go anywhere, and I was just like, you know what? I'm on this nice, really cheap promotional offer from GameFly, and I have one of their games here with me, and I haven't played it yet, and it's actually really expensive if you sit on games from GameFly. So I was like, I'll just play it a day or two and then return it. And that game was Deadpool from High Moon, and it's actually not bad. It's hard to say. So parts of it, the Deadpool part is really cool. So the developers apparently decided to take the approach that Deadpool is a lesser known character. So basically, you as the gamer, you don't know anything about Deadpool, and so when you're plopped into the game, it's sort of an intro to Deadpool, but it's because of like the character that he is, and he like talks to the audience and stuff like that. He is introducing himself and also lamenting the fact that no one really knows anything about him. And then so yeah, they also use D-list villains because
Nobody
there's
does
sort of
either.
Yeah. There's that, and there's this sort of ongoing feud between the developers and Deadpool. It's just like we don't, the Deadpool game doesn't have the kind of budget that a triple A, high profile superhero game would have. So that's why you have D-list villains, and that's why the graphics here are really bad. And it was just like little fourth wall breaking jokes. Like, oh yeah, this pretty fun, pretty enjoyable. And so that part I thought was really fun, and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna pick this up because it's really cheap now on PSN. But the other part, which is the gunplay and swordplay, is really, really mindless. It's as if, man, how do I describe it? Well, you know how like Batman, it's very, you feel like you're in control, and when you counter and you do all the moves or you like string together a really long combo, you feel like, oh man, I did that, and I am super skilled, just like Batman is. Well, Deadpool just doesn't have any of that. When you string together combos, like I don't know what's going on. I'm just pushing buttons, and there's things happening on the screen, and it has a counter button, but it's just all willy-nilly, so you can push the counter button whenever and no penalties, and when you counter, it's like, it's super effective. And it's just like, this is crazy. So gameplay wise, it feels kind of, I don't know if this is that fun, but yeah, the sort of the care that they've put into the character part is like I wanted to know more. Sadly, the PSN sale ended abruptly. I didn't know that it was going to end at midnight on that day. I was like, I already returned the game and I can't get it for cheap, so I'm just gonna now wait for it to be really, really cheap and come back later. It reminds me a lot of playing the Wolverine game, actually, where it was the Wolverine game. Parts of it were really cool. Like, you never seen a Wolverine game where you can cut people apart. I was like, oh, that's really neat. But then other times, it's like, whoa, how come I have these claws and that guy is just like blocking me with his arms? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like the Wolverine game had such a strong start for me because like you start off with like all the cool action stuff, but then it got weighed down on the stupid stealth part where it's like, oh, there's turrets and we took away your healing factor, and if you get shot by
Yeah.
them, you're dead. And it's like, oh, that's lame. So it's like I'll come back to this whenever I feel like it because I don't feel like playing anymore. Huh?
It has that level of enjoyment, I think. There were parts that's like, oh man, this is so cool, and then other parts like, this is really dragging on. There was a lot of combat here, and it is not that great. And platforming, and it's not that great. But I want to see what happens, so someday. Um, let's see. Beyond that, I spent most of my time either playing Knack or Gran Turismo 5.
Yeah, I saw you playing Gran Turismo 5.
Yeah, I realized now, I was like, wow, I have all this space. Yeah, my apartment was not this big, so I decided eventually I'm going to break out all of my game systems and have them all hooked up to something. Like, otherwise they're just sitting there, and it's sort of sad. And I do have games that I haven't finished on every single system I own, so why not have them all hooked up? Unfortunately, I don't have enough screens right now, so that's an ongoing project. But yeah, with Gran Turismo 5, I realized, hey, I can hook up my steering wheel now. And so I started playing through that, and I never finished. So there's a lot of stuff I haven't finished in the game. I never finished most of the special events. The one that I just have no idea how to get through is I think it's like the advanced level Top Gear track, where you're driving the VW van
Yeah, that one's a pain.
forever. And then it got to the next one. I was like, oh, this is a much faster car. And I just, you nick a cone, and it's like, oh, disqualified. And it's tough. I haven't figured out how to do it yet. You can't hit any other cars. You can't hit the cones. and it's maybe because I haven't played it enough, but I'm still not sure. When I see the turns, it doesn't look like it's a turn. It's a straight line, and then as you get closer, it's like, oh my gosh, there are cones. I have to turn, but you're already going 100 miles per hour. Like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. So I skipped that one. Started playing the Gran Turismo Rally. Got through some of that. Oh, finally beat the NASCAR one, which took me so long. That one I actually had to beat with the controller. Playing with the steering wheel is very different. Which one did I get through? I got through Grand Tour, and what's the one before that? Oh, that's the Rally one. I didn't beat that one. Anyway, yeah. So lots of special events I haven't beaten, and then also I never got past the expert series of races because it's weird. Like most people, I think they play Gran Turismo, they win a couple races, or like they get close to winning a couple races, they get some money, and then they go buy a better car, and then they just sort of overpower the competition in those races with just an amazing vehicle that none of them can catch. I had a friend, he basically drove in straight lines, ran into the wall, turned 90 degrees, and then drove into a straight line, and just did that. And it's like, oh, got 6th place. Oh, got 6th place. Oh, got 6th place. But you still get money. And then eventually he would have a fast enough car that, going down those straights, he's going super fast, and then miss the turns. That, oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'm so far ahead. And I was just like, that doesn't feel like the way to play this. So I often, there was one race. What was it? It took me forever. I could get 4th place consistently, but I couldn't get into the top 3. And it was like it was one of the really old car races, one of the low level ones.
Yeah, some of those can be really annoying. Where it's like, oh, I don't want to drive these antiques. Ugh.
But it just, I got to the point where I had totally modded this thing out. It's from, I think the car was a 1961 something, like car I'd never heard of, and I had all the mods on it. And in the end, like I kept running the race because it felt like I think I can do it. Like I know where my problem is. I mess up here and I mess up here and I mess up a little bit here. And so if I can, run all those perfectly 3 times in a row, then I can win this race. And I just did that over and over and over and over again, and kept tuning the car a little bit, and like even at its max settings, like I had to do everything perfectly to get 1st place. And I even had to resort to tuning the gear ratios so that I could have a slightly higher top speed at one point where, I think most people play and they're on the straightaway. It's like, yeah, I'm on the straightaway, and they just zoom past the competition. And I'm the straightaway was like, oh man, here they come. And they would just all go past me. So I needed a little bit more speed in order to win it. And then finally I won that. I was like, oh, I am so proud of myself. And so I sort of carried that mentality throughout all the races. And I was also, for some reason, going for gold on all of them. So it was taking a long time, and it took forever. And finally got through, Professional Series, and it played the end credit movie. I was like, oh, yay, I beat it. And then when I got into Expert, I was like, oh, man, I don't know how to win these at all. So this time I've been sort of a bit more lenient on myself. Like, you know what? Go with the high horsepower one. And sometimes it works, and sometimes the one I'm running right now, I think all the cars have a high 500s performance points, and I am slightly above them in performance points, and yet it is not a cakewalk race. It's like I have to really concentrate to get through it, and so far I've been messing up like at very small but crucial moments and not winning those races. So yeah, Gran Turismo 5 is gonna take quite a bit longer, which is sad since the new one comes out on Friday. We'll see how that goes. And then Knack. Well, I guess I can see what the reviews mean, but it's So have you read any of the reviews on Knack?
I watched some.
What is your impression of the game, not having played it?
It's really it seems odd because it's like the game doesn't seem like it's as easy to play as you would expect looking at who you think the game is for, but then the mechanics all work and everything. It's just that some of the combat situations are a bit harder than they need to be. And also, people also kind of complain about the writing and characters and like the lack of quality there. But besides that, that was kind of like the only flaws. It was like difficulty and the writing.
Yeah, I'm generally okay with any writing as long as it's not super obviously just not thought out at all. But yeah, the game, there's a lot more in the game than the reviews sort of gave me the impression. The reviews just seem like, oh, this is a throwaway game, there's not really much to it, there's only 3 buttons in combat, and the combat is not good, and that's all you need to know. And it was just...
Well, the interesting thing about one of the reviews I saw was like it said that every enemy had like a thing that you had to like a tell pretty much of like how to beat them, and like it switched like every enemy has like basically a way to beat them. But then some enemies are like too hard and can kill you in like one hit, or depending on like how big you are, you have, like can take so much damage. So it's depending on like where you're at in the game and like how big you are, or, like how big Knack is. Like the difficulty doesn't scale. It's just like you're gonna have either a harder time or an easier time getting through it.
Yeah. But well, like the size increases are all tied to the story, so you don't really have a choice about how big you are. But it is really cool. Like during certain levels, like just in one level, you'll start really small and you'll just be going through, and you'll fight, an enemy, and it'll take you. Well, there's a lot going on. It feels like you're fighting an enemy as a small guy, and it takes more hits, so you have to punch him maybe 3 or 4 times, and he can just kill you in one hit. And then the other thing is your reach is shorter when you're small, so you have to get really close, and so your timing of attacks and stuff is all different. And the way the attacks are, you know how, for example, like Street Fighter, if you're doing a combo, sometimes in the middle of the combo there'll be one move that takes a little bit longer to execute or to like come out on the screen, and that's sort of the moment that your opponent can do a counter or something like that. I guess they're called combo breakers.
That's a killer instinct move to
Oh, really? That's an actual name? I thought it was a...
Because in Street Fighter, it's all about like the block string of a move, like if it like how long it takes to execute, and then you have like that many frames to get it in. But if you're blocking, once that combo is done, you have like that amount of time to input a counter before your opponent can act to get the advantage on the situation.
Yeah. So it's like you broke their combo, right?
Combo breaker.
Well, like when you're doing the combo training in Street Fighter, and like if you don't do all the moves fast enough, like the AI dummy will block the end moves.
Yeah.
So isn't that breaking your combo?
It's not. They didn't do anything though, Tropical. You're the one that messed up, not them. So therefore, they didn't have to do anything.
Well, they had to block. I mean, if they weren't blocking, then, or they had to let go of the controller.
Yeah, but not all fighting games work like that. Because in Tekken, you have a neutral block, so if you're not pushing anything, you automatically block.
Anyway. Basically, every attack that Knack has, has the potential of being leaving you open, which is not the case in all these games. Like God of War, if your first hit, like when you first push the attack button, if in the middle of that attack you decide to dodge out of the way or to push the block button, those defensive moves will happen instantly when you perform them. So you can actually stop your attack at any time until you get to the point where you're doing the combo and you do maybe that square square triangle, and you're doing the triangle like bash on the ground part. There's sort of a lull between the last square and the triangle, and so and this never happened in God of War, but conceivably, like, that is the moment when an enemy should attack you. Oh, it happens in the multiplayer mode. So yeah, and with Knack, like, there are no easy combos.
Oh,
like,
so basically, like, no combos are safe, pretty much.
Yeah, like if you whiff on your first punch, then you're open.
That's interesting.
And so you're just left open, and you can't dodge out of the way immediately, and you can't do anything. So you whiff, and oftentimes that means you die. And so you have to be really careful, and you have to sort of know the opponents you're fighting. You also have this move where you jump into the air, and then you push the attack button, and you'll sort of do this roll dash towards them, and that move generally just stuns guys. So you have to know, like, how the enemy is going to react to those things after you hit them. Like, sometimes you hit the guy with your punch, like, oh yeah, the first punch hit, but then it stuns you, like, or it doesn't stun you, but there's like a short moment where you're defenseless. And if that didn't take the guy out, then he's gonna turn around and kill you. And so, like, the combat is very especially on hard mode, when a lot of stuff kills you in one hit. It's really intense. Like,
why were you playing on hard mode, Tropical?
Because I don't know. I read about it and it's like, well, it seems like I'm supposed to playing this on hard mode, and so I started playing on hard mode. I was like, wow, this reminds me of that show Game Center CX in Japan. It reminds me of that, because you're just playing it. You're trying to get through the levels, and you're dying a lot, but it never feels like a cheap death. You always know, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Or, I whiffed on my punch, so that was my bad. And it's just like, every death is like, oh, it's like, that was my fault. Or, oh, I should have done that. And so you sort of keep pushing on, and there isn't any load time between your death and your respawn. So yeah, it just feels like, oh, you keep doing that. And then I guess one of the reviews I read had a problem with how far the checkpoints were.
Yeah.
So sometimes it would be, you fought 3 or 4 groups of enemies, and on hard mode, it's like it feels like an accomplishment. It's like, oh my gosh, I got through all of them. It's sort of this perfect run through 3 or 4 encounters, and then you get to the 5th encounter and you die, and then you have to go back and do the first encounter again. And it's like, yeah, it feels a lot like that challenge show that they had in Japan. It's like, oh, this is what they mean by sort of old school. Except they did it on purpose. So yeah, it's a pretty intense game. You always have to be on your toes, especially one of the things I noticed is that a lot of the enemy behaviors are perfectly sort of designed to exploit your weaknesses. So most of the time, you're gonna try to do the same thing. The enemies they sort of have a tell, and they show, okay, he's about to do this combo, and he does his sort of attack combo, and you're thinking, okay, at the end of the combo, I'll just rush in and punch him out. But they thought of that, so when you rush in, he finishes his combo, and you rush in to punch him. But the first thing that they often do after their combo is jump backwards, causing you to whiff on your punch, and then they kill you. It's like they countered your counter. And yeah, so there's that always going on. And the other thing is, the checkpoints are pretty far apart. So sometimes you've done 3 or 4 encounters and you get to a point where like the next encounter and you see an enemy you've never seen before. And you stand there like, oh no, I don't know what to do. But if I die, then I have to go back through those other 3 or 4 encounters. And you sort of stand there and say, oh, defensive posture. Do they have long range attacks? Do they have short range attacks? Is it going to do a one-hit kill thing? Oftentimes, there's no way to tell. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. And then as far as like there being a lot more to it, there's the collection system. Like you build these gadgets by collecting parts in these big treasure chests, sort of like Zelda, but not really. Well, kind of. And the cool part about it is every time you find one of these chests, it opens, and then it connects to, or I guess it's always connected. You see all of your friends, and you see what they've collected out of that chest. And you can choose, like, oh, do I want to take the thing that came out of the chest for me? Or do I want to look through this list and get something else that someone else got? I'm pretty sure they don't lose what they got, but you get to choose to get sort of a copy of what they got. And there are a lot of things to collect. So, yeah, I don't know. It just, the impression the reviews gave me is like, there is not much to this game. And actually playing it, it's like, well, it feels like there's a lot to this game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll get all that stuff and then be like, oh, yeah, there wasn't anything to all those things that I thought they were there.
Well, does any of that stuff that you're collecting add to the game, or is it just collectibles?
Yeah, well, so a lot of the gadget things, like some of them are just sort of just kind of like typical power-up type things, but like you never get a whole device in the chest, so you get pieces of it. So there'll be things like you collect relics in order to get bigger, and there'll be a gadget that you can build that will, every time you defeat an enemy, it will leave relics and it'll heal you, or you'll get bigger. Or there's like a secrets detector. So if you build the detector, then when you're walking around, these secret rooms that have the chests inside will be highlighted for you in some way. I don't know. I don't have any of them. But other ones are like you collect gems or precious stones and stuff, and you'll unlock different versions of Knack to play the game through with. So actually, I don't really know much more than that because I haven't collected any of them. Apparently, some of them take. I think the one I saw that took the most was like 20. You had to collect 20 of these gems in order to play as, I think it was Diamond Knack, which I don't know. I can only imagine is going to be heavily armored or something like that. Who knows? It is taking a long while. That's actually probably why it's not in any of the reviews. They got to review it the day before the game came out, and I don't think anyone was able to get all these things in a day, even working together. So, yeah. Well, we'll see how that one goes. I'm thinking it's pretty fun. And yeah, if you're interested, you should check it out. Finally, I picked up Tearaway for Vita. Yes, the game is very charming. And it does feel like you're holding sort of a paper world in the palm of your hand, as it were. And there's a lot of parts where, yeah, I think the best parts is it's sort of the game interacts with the real world in lots of different ways. So, you've probably heard about you're the sun. So every time it shows the sun, like the story is the messenger Iota is trying to deliver a message to the sun. And when you look when in game when it looks up at the sun, it shows your face as seen through the Vita camera in the sun. And it's sort of weird sometimes because I've been playing a lot of it in the dark. So it'd just be this creepy looking, half shadowed, illuminated only by the screen light face in the sun. And like all the citizens of the world, they can see that there's a face in the sun. I was like, that is really weird. And then there are parts, where you use the rear touch and poke your fingers into the paper world. And then the rewards, like in Little Big Planet, they tried to incentivize people to play through the levels by having all the parts and stickers and stuff and costumes, and you'd collect those things. Well, in Tearaway, the things you collect are papercraft sort of blueprints, and you collect them in the game, and then once you've collected them, they upload to your page on like the Tearaway website, and then you can print those out and then actually make characters from the game in real life. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool little reward. Yeah, it's really fun. Not very far into it yet, so. Play anything else? Nothing of note. I've mostly been sitting, like I've kind of stopped playing the PS4 recently. And one, it's not convenient for me to play it with my daughter around because yesterday she almost pulled my soundbar off the shelf, and it was sad because I ran over, I saw her, and she was like, and she noticed too, and she's like, oh no, and so she pushed it back and it didn't fall over. But then I had already run over there, and to stop myself, I don't have carpet in my living room anymore. And I was like, oh man, and I slid and I knocked her over. So that was bad, but yeah. So it's tough for me to play on the PS4 while she is awake, and she's awake most of the time now. So mostly with my PS4, I've been watching other people play on live from PlayStation, which is still really cool. I watched J-Bond play Blacklight Retribution the other day. I was like, it is really fun.
Have you tried any of the free-to-play stuff?
Yeah, I've tried. I think I have the entire launch lineup, except for Trine. Oh, I guess in NBA. Yeah, no, there's probably a lot of games I don't have, but it feels like I have the entire launch lineup. Yeah, Warframe is really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that one.
I think why it's awesome is because you think it's all multiplayer, and you think, it's all multiplayer, except it's all co-op multiplayer. And so you're basically ninjas with guns and swords, and you run through these levels and you kill a bunch of guys with your guns and swords, and you do objectives and stuff. And it's really neat because the matchmaking works sort of seamlessly, and like you can choose if you want to play with other people, and it has all the typical filtering things, but it's just like yeah. You run around and kill stuff with your guns and swords, and then you level up your guns and swords, and then you can go kill more stuff. Just that kind of game.
Okay.
Feels really polished. I suppose there's a story, but since I haven't played it a lot, I'm not really sure where it's going. The other one, Blacklight Retribution, is it sort of just throws you in, and like I don't know what is going on in the game. I started it up and went in, and it's like, well, it's a shooter. Okay, you're in a team deathmatch. Go kill the other guys, and it's like, okay. And so no context whatsoever, and it's like I'm now shooting other people, and
so there's like no way to learn the controls before you jump in. Besides looking at the menu.
Not that I remember, yeah. I remember being sort of confused and creating a character. I don't remember getting to choose any customization or anything. It was just like start, register or something, and then quick match, and then I was in, and I was shooting other guys, and yeah, I'd watched a few videos of it, so I knew about like the unique thing about Blacklight is it's sort of like The Last of Us listen mode. Everyone has wall hacks, and the developer originally put that in because they play a lot of Call of Duty and like lots of other shooters, and they don't like when you get the jump on someone and you end up dying because I don't know, they turned around and killed you before. Yeah, so they put in this thing where you can see through walls for a limited amount of time. Not sure how that fixes that. Actually, it made sense when I heard about it. Anyway,
it might also be like something to like stop people from camping. See, since
Yeah,
like,
that
people
too.
like see where you're at, you have to be on the move all the time.
yeah. So I knew that existed. I just didn't know how to activate it. I had to fiddle with it a little while. I was like, oh, there it is. And then yeah. So I don't really know what's going on in that game. I guess there's objective modes too, but the only mode I played was team deathmatch. I was just like, yep, it's a shooter. Yeah, they all feel. I guess they do feel like games you would have bought, but they are free. Oh, and I keep forgetting, like PlayStation 4s come with $10 for PSN right now. I have to go dig that out because I don't know where it is, and I forgot about it. Yeah, J-Bon was saying that the free 30-day trial of PlayStation Plus that comes with the PlayStation 4 doesn't stack with your if you have a subscription already, it doesn't add 30 days. It runs concurrently.
That's weird.
Like, well, what am I gonna do with two PlayStation Plus subscriptions? So when I find that, I will have a PlayStation Plus 30-day trial to give away. Because apparently it expires in March, and I don't think my PlayStation Plus ends in March. I think it ends in June. So yeah, I'll let you know.
Oh, so you didn't get any of like the $30 ones on Black Friday?
Yeah, I got one of those.
Oh, okay.
Well, but I didn't, because that was the day that the European launch happened and crashed our
Yeah.
and so I bought it. It's like, well, I can't use it. But I guess that's fine because I don't think it expires. Um. So yeah. Did I play anything else? I don't think so. I think that was. Oh, well, while I'm on briefly, I played SimCity. I actually did get the expansion because it looked cool, which is the Cities of Tomorrow expansion, which has sort of these magical technologies that fix a lot of the problems that you had no way of fixing in the contemporary version of SimCity. Like ground pollution is just there forever, apparently.
Oh, so so it doesn't like I thought you were talking about like all the stuff that was like broken at launch.
Oh no, that stuff is still broken, which is really sad. Or I'm not really sure if it is. So I haven't tried this yet, but I have it's not really a theory. I want to see if it's because I'm still playing a city that I started when the game was broken. Like I'm wondering if I start in a fresh region in a fresh city, will the systems actually work now, or is the game still broken? which that's baffling. Like, why would you release an expansion pack and ask people to pay for it if your base game doesn't work?
Dice did it.
Yeah, but to be fair, they asked people to pay before before they released the expansion. So, you knew that the game was broken. Like, at this point, you feel like the game should be fixed. Or I feel like the game should be fixed.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because there's like still a bunch of bugs in Arkham City, or I mean Arkham Origins. I went to the forums, and man, that is one sad place. And they put out DLC too, and it's like people are like, fix the game first. It's like, man, games are hard to make, like Val said.
Man, this should be a new regulation. Like, you can't, or no one should buy. Yeah, we'll do it on our end because that's the power of money. You don't buy season passes until the base game works. And, in the future, then it will become, they don't sell season passes until the base game works. And that's how it should be. But yeah, with SimCity, so they introduced a thing they call mega towers. And basically, they can't, so the developers have said, we can't make the surface area of, like, the city area bigger for you to play in. So they've decided mega towers are the solution. You can build upwards now. And so the towers, it's not just the one building you plop down. It's a building, and then there are like 8 pieces that you can plop on top of it. And they can be anything. They can be residential places, they can be power plants, they can be shopping malls with offices and stuff. And it's just, there's supposed to be like, if you put a power plant inside, it's supposed to be this self-sufficient tower that just, the people who live there never have to leave. But it's still broken. Like, one of the biggest problems with the game is that things happen in your city and you have no idea why. So in the original you'd be like, I'm building my residential area and the people need work, so I will build, industrial area, which provides the most jobs. And then once they have money, they want to spend it, so you build your commercial area, and then they'll go spend it and they'll be happy, and then they'll go home. It's supposed to be this cycle, and you just have to balance out their needs. And like, okay, that's fine. But the problem was, occasionally, and you would click on a building and it would just say, we have no jobs. And then you'll click on another building in the industrial area and it'll say, we have no workers. Like, there seems like an obvious solution to this here, but it never fixes itself. It's like, well, and the frustrating thing is you see that and it's like, yeah, I see the obvious solution, but you can't fix it. And so you have no idea. It's like, well, is there another underlying reason? Like, maybe they don't want to work at that place or something? And you can't know. And you can build hundreds and hundreds of industrial areas, and those people will never go to work. And those industrial areas will never have people to work there. And, sometimes it happens to shops too. It's like, we have no shoppers. And then other people will be saying, there's nowhere to shop. And it's like, what is going on? And I thought they had fixed it, but no. In the mega towers, so I built these apartments, and then suddenly all the apartment people were like, "Hey, we want a mall." And I was like, "Okay," so I built a mall on one of the levels, and then according to the game, it says that there are 5,000 people living in the tower right now, and the mall is there. And the mall has a capacity of 125 shoppers. And then suddenly it says, hey, the mall isn't getting enough shoppers. You need to build more apartments. Like, there's already 5,000 people there. And the mall only needs 125 people to be full. And for some reason, there's only 10 shoppers. Like, do they not like the stores? Like, well, I have no power over that. And so I built another, I kept adding apartments on it. And I was like, okay, now there's like 10,000 people there and the mall is still getting no shoppers. Like, makes no sense. And then, out of the blue, one of the apartment levels is like, well, we need work. And so I built an office level. And then the level below the office level suddenly is like, we want a mall. It's like, there's a mall down there, 4 levels down.
Chaos in SimCity. Chaos.
And then people started moving out. It's like, this makes no sense. Like, I gave you everything you asked for, and you're just like, no, we don't want that one. It's like, I can't control their business. Yeah, it is ridiculous. And so, well, some things have been fixed, and like, in order to fix them in your city, you do have to do things sometimes. Like, it doesn't, because of the weird, it's not an online, it's an online game, and I don't know. Like, the thing that happened to me was I had all this recycling happening in my city, and then one day I turned it on and there was no recycling. And like, the recycling plant was like, oh, there's no recyclables. And I clicked on the trash graph, and it's like, there's all this garbage, and there are 0. It tells you like how many bins have been collected, and it was like 0 of 0 recycling bins have been collected. And I was just like, what happened? Did everyone decide, you know what, I'm not going to recycle anymore. We're just going to throw all this in the garbage. And I remember reading a post, like, oh, like, there was some problem where people's recycling trucks would leave their cities and then never come back. And so they fixed that in a patch, but in order to fix the recycling center, you have to bulldoze the recycling center and then build a new one. And so I bulldozed it and then built a new one, and I was sitting there, I was like, okay, nothing is happening. And then suddenly it's like, boom, everyone was like recycling again. It's like, that is weird. Yeah, so the game, so I'm gonna try starting a brand new city in a brand new region and seeing if it works, and if it doesn't, I will be very disappointed, but yet powerless to do anything. Which is another part that sucks. Oh, and just last thing, Diablo 3, I got it for PS3 to play with my friends who I was previously playing Diablo 3 with on PC. And I didn't remember this at all. They were like, wow, this is so much better. I was like, really? Like, yeah, it's because we can talk. And I guess there was no voice chat in Diablo.
That's crazy.
You can only text chat. It's like, that is weird.
That's crazy.
And so, yeah, they're liking it way, way more. And I was just like, it blew my mind. It's like, really? I thought only gamer people would double dip and triple dip, and they double dipped on this one. Well, I mean, I guess they do like the game, and it's just like, wow, this is so much better than the PC one we already have. Some of us have 2 copies of the PC one. It's like, this is so much better. You can talk, you can do, couch co-op plus online co-op all at the same time, and so yeah, it's great. It's like, oh, cool. So we were going to be playing through that several times once again. We stopped on one of the higher difficulty levels because one of my friends' computers couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And so he was dying a lot, and he just didn't know why. It's like, well, we obviously saw it, but I guess your computer skipped that frame. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. That was really fun.
That highlights a very interesting minority of features that are better on console than on PC. It's like you have couch co-op, online co-op with other people, and then voice chat support, and not having to worry about settings.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was cool.
So it just plays the same and stuff, or control-wise, or how's it?
Control-wise, well, I mean, it's totally different. The way that it works on PC is you're sort of controlling a puppet, I guess. So your character just follows the mouse cursor around. So you click somewhere on the ground, and then your character will run to that spot. Whereas on consoles, your control stick, you have direct control. So, you move the left stick left, and your guy goes left. And then you also have a dodge roll, which is not in the PC version at all.
Ah.
And then the thing that I haven't noticed this yet, and it was really weird. A lot of the reviewers said that the weapons have much better loot drops, and I think the reason is because there's no auction house, so loot drops are balanced differently on the console version. And I was like, yeah, the equipment, the loot is just so much better on consoles because the auction house ruined the game on PC. And those we were playing last night, and we basically had no loot whatsoever. Like, no one is dropping anything. Not sure what was up with that. It might be because we've set it to hard, and that kind of makes sense. Like, yeah, so instead of making the enemies a lot harder, they're just giving you less stuff, so that makes it harder. Maybe. Not really sure, but yeah. And yeah, they like, my friends like the direct control a lot better. They like, but yeah, no, the thing that was like, yeah, this voice chat. It's like, there wasn't voice chat before. Totally slipped my mind.
I know, it's like, what game doesn't have online voice chat in the year 2013?
Yeah, that's crazy. It came out in
2012 though.
Well,
Was it last year it came out?
I
On PC?
don't remember.
I think it was.
Was it last year? Yeah, actually, I think it was.
Yeah, because that's why there was like such a, or that they had that unveiling at the Sony event of, oh, it's coming to PS3 and PS4. Yeah.
Yep. Man, that's that is weird.
But I guess games like World of Warcraft, you have to use like third-party stuff to use headsets in games. I think 'cause it's not like directly supported in games, and then it'd be like complete chaos with all the people running around with the mics. It'd be like in a public square, like, wait, who are you talking to? What?
That's true.
That'd be
Yeah,
crazy.
actually, it's weird that Diablo 3 doesn't have it, because StarCraft 2 has it built in. Whereas Diablo 3, you know, it's a co-op questing game. They didn't add PvP until much later, and it's very basic. Like, so why wouldn't that game have?
That is
unless,
weird.
Unless it was sort of the online thing, and it's like, oh, we don't want a lot of. Well, who knows?
Okay, well, what I've been playing is Arclight 2. That game, man, I got stuck in this dungeon with like all like you have like this mine cart, and there's like rail that the cart goes on, and I was like, for the life of me, I cannot figure this out. And then I was like, wait a minute, let me try not going on the rails on the cart and going on them on foot. And I finally got like this hidden path that like finally branched off into somewhere else I could go. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. I was stuck on that for like, well, it wasn't like literally 2 days, but it was like 2 days of like me going to work and playing the game. So I was like, I'm not making any progress in this game, but I'm gonna get a Vita soon. So I have to finish it so I can finish the trilogy and then carry on my PSP games on a different platform. But I finally got past, and I was like, yay! So yeah, and that's moving along still. So yay. I don't know if I talked about this last time, but I played the Wolf Among Us finally on PS3 version. Still fun, still awesome. Cannot wait. I think they said episode 2 should be out sometime this month, as well as Walking Dead season 2.
That's what I heard.
Cannot wait. They haven't shared
That's
anything.
crazy.
That will be so awesome. I'll be like,
I sort of wanted them to do, 1 month. It's like,
yeah, that would be that would help a lot.
But if they're gonna do both at the same time, I guess that's okay too.
Yeah, they're not too long games, so that doesn't hurt. It'll help your craving when you just like finish one and like go to the next one. It's like, oh, no, don't get another episode of The Wolf Among Us for another month. Oh, I'll just play the next episode of Walking Dead. Okay, and then you have to wait for both of them for a month. It's like, oh. But yeah, I guess you could say like Telltale's kind of. Oh, I guess I'm not gonna say perfected, but they do have a good formula here for like episodic games. Finally, it took like however long, but somebody finally got it right. So we'll see if they can keep that momentum going. I booted up Marvel Heroes for the first time in however long, there's been some like crazy updates, and like when you get to the title screen, which didn't even have anything on it before, now you have like Loki on Asgard. He's like looking down at everybody, and I'm like, ooh, this is cool. But I didn't. I think I like jumped in to like look at my characters or whatever. But then like the game resets your skill points every time there's like a major update. So it's like I don't even remember how my characters were spec'd. And I'm like just like oh. I was just like whatever. I'm whatever. I'll just come back to it. And I still haven't unlocked any other characters besides Daredevil and Thing. I still need to make a YouTube video about that. So it's like I still want to. There's like all the stuff I want to do with that game, but it's like I just haven't had the time. It's just like it's there and like it's free and it's awesome, but it's just like so never get around to it. Hopefully they put it on PS3 and PS4 because I would love to play it on there, especially if all my stuff would carry over. That'd be great. Let's see. Besides that, played Resident Evil 6. There's a online event where you can get an EX3 costume, so I played some of that. You just have to play through Chapter 2 Leon and Chapter 2 Ada. I'm not sure if both of them or just one of them, and like it goes towards the total for the community, and like we already passed the goal, so or at least the A rank. I don't think we got S rank goal yet, so that's what we're trying to get now. But playing it after not playing it in a long time, I completely forgot how to pull up the inventory to like manage your healing items. So the whole time I was like dying, and I was like, how do I heal myself? How do I heal myself? So I didn't have any first aid spray, and I picked up an herb, but like without I couldn't figure out how to like open up like in your inventory that doesn't have like the individual herbs. So I was like, I know these heal you, but how do I use it? Where's it at? Pushing buttons, nothing's happening. Then over the course of playing, I finally pushed a button. I was like, oh, that's what it is. So it was the Y button, or I'm guessing triangle on PS3, if you're wondering. And you have
There's sort of a hotkey for it. I think it was like if you push.
Yeah, I see it's right bumper, but I didn't have any made. You have to have like the pre-made thingies that like will heal you, and if you don't.
Or no, yeah, like the hotkey, like if you push it twice or something, it will load more pills into your thing.
Didn't know that.
And it will like combine stuff for you.
Well,
I forget what it is. Because I remember I figured it out. It's like, oh, this works really well. And then I read a thing on Kotaku, and they were talking about this is how you do it on the fly. And they had memorized the directions that you have pushed, so they would actually quickly pull out the menu and do it with a memorized button combination. It's like, oh, you don't need to do that. But yeah, unfortunately, don't remember what it was.
Yeah, that was like so weird because I was like no problem just like walking around, running around, shooting stuff, killing stuff, and then it's like I need the more advanced control options. What do I do here to heal I need to heal myself before I die. No, so I had like so many deaths that could have been prevented from low level enemies. I was like, well, that was embarrassing. So yeah, Arkham Origins. Okay, so man, it's really cool what they did with the DLC. So instead of having it be like Harley Quinn, where it's basically just like here's like actual this has been built to be DLC, and like you go to it and it's like an area that you go to as Batman, and like there's enemies and you take them on, and there's like cutscenes and dialogue and story stuff. It's basically just a set of campaign maps, or I'm sorry, a set of challenge maps strung together through cutscenes in a campaign. So it still has like a story feel to it, but it's not like super polished or super like it doesn't feel as big as like a Harley Quinn's DLC. But it's like it seems like they can go either way now, because like the way they did it, it just works just fine. Because it's just Bruce getting trained to like become more awesome as a ninja and be Batman, and be like a disciple at this ninja school. And it'd be cool if like they like took up, but then it's weird because like when you finish it, there is no real like this doesn't feel like it links to Origins at all. It's like it feels like it could be its own thing. And like I'm wondering if they're gonna like continue on from where you end at, because like it ends in like depending on like if you get all the medals, you'll get a cutscene of where it's like, okay, you can continue to be here, or oh, you're still a lowly person here, go mop the floors or something. I was like, what? That was weird. So I wouldn't mind another DLC like Harley Quinn's with all the origin stuff that they've done, because that'd be cool. But I'm not sure what they would do. But I've already said what I'd like to do, But it's also cool what they did with Bruce Wayne as the character. Is like he plays very much like Nightwing, who in Arkham City was basically like a stripped down version. Like basically Batman has like the best gadgets and everything, like has all the attacks and stuff. But then all the other characters are basically a lesser version of him. So it's like that's the same thing with Bruce Wayne. It's like he doesn't have the bat. He doesn't have like his cloak to like glide across the map when you're in the Predator room. So you're like, crap, I can only grapple hook or like jump and like try to make it.
Oh.
So he feels a lot like Nightwing does in Arkham City. So it's like you have some attacks, and then he has like the caltrops that Catwoman has in Arkham City. So you have that still, and there's some other ability like thingy he has, but I have no idea what it does or how to use it because the game, it's so weird because like it gives you these characters, but it has like no like, oh, here's how you do this, or here's what this does, or like tutorial section of like, oh, here's your new abilities, or the stuff that you gave this guy. Because I was playing, I was like, wait a minute, I don't know what my quick takedowns are, like what I'm even able to do, because he can't break gadgets, he can do like the multi-character takedown, but it has to be out of his caltrop or his smoke bomb attack, which is pretty cool, by the way. Oh, that's the other thing. He has like these really sweet like ninja shurikens that he throws for like instead of batarangs, because he's like not Batman yet. He's like ninja. He's like Ninja Bruce Wayne. He's like Ninja Bat. So it's really cool what they did. It's like he's like more ninja than Batman, even though he's not as awesome as Batman. So it's like, oh man, that's so awesome. But yeah, that was really cool what they did. And like it's interesting because like instead of detective vision, he has like focus mode, even though it works exactly the same. They just like changed the name. So that was weird and interesting. Let's see. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. Like, oh yeah, and then it's weird because like I read the description. It was like you only get 3 maps or something, or 4 maps, and it's like I played the campaign. It's like 5 levels, but then I was like, oh, they use the same level twice. Because I was like, I thought there was one more. I counted them, but I was like, oh, they use the same map twice. So there's only 4 maps. Okay, huh? Oh, and then it's weird because in the final map of the campaign, when like you have to fight all the ninjas in the bamboo forest, which is a pretty cool setting. That's the other cool thing. Like the setting's awesome, and like the characters are, because it's all like Southeastern Asian. Well, it takes place in like North Korea, so it's like all these like cool Asian themed ninjas, and it's like, oh man, that's so awesome. So yeah,
there are ninjas in North Korea.
Apparently tropical. Some hidden monastery in North Korea. But that's the cool thing. It's like it felt very much like the Christopher Nolan when like he goes to like be trained by the ninjas. It's like, oh, this feels so close to Batman Begins, even though it's like it's a completely different take on it. It's really really cool. And then
that's interesting.
And the, I'm going to Google that ninjas in North Korea. But like in the final combat room, like you get a fight and Shiva shows up, but then it's so weird because it doesn't give you any context or explanation of why she's there. It's like, what? That like it's like they could have did something like really cool of like, okay, why is she here? Like how's this tie into her being in Arkham Origins, and how did she show up there being one of the assassins? But there's like no story, anything besides, oh, Batman's here to become a ninja or get his training to be awesome at martial arts more than he is now. So but overall, I did enjoy it. And then I have the season pass, so I'm not sure how much it is, but I do kind of feel I paid too much to get it. But then it's like I was gonna buy it anyway, so I'm hoping at the end of the day, all the prices of all the costumes and all these maps that I've gotten through the DLC for free added up together is more than the cost of it, or I will feel burned because
is all the DLC out?
Yeah, all the season pass DLC I believe is out because it was just costumes and then this initiation. Because I think it was $20 for the season pass, and I was like, well, I'd pay $20 for the Harley Quinn DLC. It was really awesome, but then it turns out it's like not really on the same. It's like apples to oranges comparing it to that, 'cause it's a completely different thing. It's just a campaign, but then you do get like the challenge maps from the campaign to play through, like by their own in the challenge system. So you still get that. So it's not just the campaign, but you also get the maps to play through standalone, and you can also play them with Deathstroke and Batman after I think you have to finish the campaign. I don't think you have to get all the medals. You just have to finish the campaign. So that's pretty cool. I haven't done that yet to see what it's like with them if they change anything. But I did enjoy it though. $20 I would say, because I just got it for the initiation DLC because I thought it was gonna be awesome. But I was like, oh, it turned out to be a bust. So I probably could have waited, but at least I get it now, and I've got all the skins too. So yeah, and yeah. Well, I guess I didn't buy that stupid multiplayer thing, but I'm not buying that. So I haven't even played the multiplayer still, which is crazy. So man. So I will wait for more single player awesomeness and see what they do. But I thought that was interesting what they did because I wasn't expecting them to, like, to have another character of just like plain old boring Bruce Wayne and be like, oh well, he has limited ability to compare to Batman because now you can like play with him through all the challenge maps that you did with Batman and Deathstroke. And it's like, oh, but since he has a slimmed down moveset a la Nightwing and every other DLC character from Arkham City, it's like, oh, okay, it's even more challenging. So that's always fun. So yeah, that was really cool. Oh, also it's cool because like they didn't add in different enemy types, but since it's a different setting, like the armored dudes have like this samurai helmet thingy and like body armor, and then all the like regular henchmen dudes are ninjas. So it's
Although they're all decorated differently.
Yeah, you have like.
Or do they fight different? Like, do they all become martial art types?
All the martial artists that are in the single player are like the same. They have fighting style, but they're like dressed differently. And then like the normal henchmen dudes are dressed as ninjas too. But then the lady ninjas, they're basically palette, or the same character from Arkham City that they are in Arkham Origins. But then you face them in Arkham Origins, but they're like a different costume. But then they change that costume in this one to where like they're wearing all black, like a ninja. So that's pretty cool. But they have like the same attack and stuff. So yeah. Let's see, what else did I play besides that? That might have been it, 'cause I was like, man, Arkham City, or I mean Arkham Origins. I keep getting them mixed up. Oh, actually, I was playing the Predator rooms, and like I fell through one of those walls that is like a endless pit, and I was like, oh, well, there are still bugs in the game. So that happened. I thought most of them had patched, but like that's the only one I've seen post patch of it's still there. So, but yeah, I'm still playing that, trying to get the last of the Gotham or the Dark Knight system stuff. So yeah. That I believe is all I've been playing, because I downloaded a bunch of stuff off of PSN of like stuff that I got for free through PlayStation Plus, but I hadn't had the time to download it until now because my bandwidth allotment was really high now compared to like what it's been over the last few months. I was like, oh well, I'll just go ahead and download it. Oh, Grid 2 is free, and I got that, and I played like a couple races, and yeah, I'm glad I got PlayStation Plus because I like free awesome games, and that will be fun playing through. So yeah, it's funny though, because I was like, well, I don't need to download it because Turismo 6 comes out, but I was like, well, I will not stop hitting myself if I do not get this now. So I'm glad I did, and I will be playing that a bit before GT6 comes out. I guess I could go back and forth, or I get tired of one of them and be like, oh well, I'll take a break and play this one now because they're pretty different. But that's all I've been playing. Did you start Arkham Origins at all, Tropical, or?
I did.
Okay.
The part because
you haven't gone back to it.
I got to that part where you figure out who killed the guy who's not actually dead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then I was like, that didn't make any sense. and then so I stopped.
That's like one of the best parts.
Like, that felt illogical.
He would say that. Alrighty, well, we can stop here and come back with Black Friday pickups and news and stuff. Yeah, after this. Yeah, it's funny because like when I was playing, I was like, I like said all this stuff about, man, I'm so tired of playing this game, blah 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 blah. But then it's like as soon as like new challenge maps comes out, I'm like, ooh. I'm like, it's like my new narcotic has come from my dealer, yay. And then I just like proceeded to play until I played through all the maps, and it's like, oh, but I only did it as Bruce Wayne. Now I gotta go back through as Batman and Deathstroke. So yeah. That will be fun.
Cool.
And pushing the button now because we're gonna talk about Black Friday pickups, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let me get my stuff.
This call is being recorded.
All right, we're back. So Black Friday has come and gone, and we kind of poo-pooed on it. I know I did. I wasn't expecting I was hoping Amazon would, come through on the Vita deal, and they did. And I totally ordered one, and I
Nice.
cannot wait to get one. And then the funny thing is, like, GameStop totally like they totally boffed their Vita memory card deal because it's like they had the 8 GB on sale, and then they're like, oh, okay, those are selling so good, let's discount the 32 GB like the next day after I bought 4 of the 8 GB ones. I'm like, why? Because I was doing the math and I was like, well, I could get 4 of these for the price of less than one of the 32 GB, so that's totally worth it. So, and then they discounted the 32 GB to where it was not the case, and I was like, well played, GameStop, but I can still buy one, so I did. So I have like way more memory cards than I probably will need, but I'm sure I will fill them all eventually.
So you have 64 gigs of memory.
Yeah.
On 5 different cards. Or
Yeah.
wait, the bundle comes with a card too, right? A 4 gig?
I just. But nobody says anything good about the 4 gig. They're just like, yeah, I need to buy a new gig, blah 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 blah. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna worry about the one that comes with it.
I'm not really sure how it works because and it's probably because of the stories that I was reading at the time. Because in the beginning, we found out you could have different profiles on different cards. So you could do things like, oh, if you wanted to sign into a different PSN account, it was like tied to the card instead of the system. And so in order to switch to a different PSN account, you would have to do things like deactivate the system on this account, then switch out the card, and then do all the stuff. And it was just like all these things. And I was like, I'm just gonna go with one card. So that's why I have like 132. And then when I heard that you bought 4 of the 8 gigs, I was like, now that I think about it, I have no idea how multiple cards work. I think it's probably gonna be really simple. But yeah, like the only encounter I've had with it was those discussions about changing PSN accounts. And so yeah, hopefully it is not very complicated. It shouldn't be. It doesn't make sense for it to be
like
complicated.
the other thing I did, I went through my download list and just like downloaded all the Vita games I'd gotten free off of Plus that I had no need for until now, and I was like, yay, free games. I didn't buy any of these, and it comes with the Sly, Thieves in Time, Uncharted, Walking Dead, and Retro City Rampage. So I was like, yay, 4 games for free.
Stuff.
So,
and it was $20 cheaper than the retail price now, right?
yeah, I think it was like one. Hold on, let me look it up on this thingy. It was $174.99. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
So besides that, I picked up XCOM Enemy Within because that was my Black Friday game last year, and I was like, well, if anybody has it on sale, I'll get it. And nobody did. Well, actually, no, I don't think anybody did. And like Amazon had it for like $24.99. I was like, well, it's not on sale on Steam yet, so I'll go ahead and get it. Because actually, I haven't even touched my PC version. I played through on 360, and I got the PS3 version on PlayStation Plus for free. So I was like, well, let me get it on PS3 now, so I can fight RPG on the multiplayer. Eventually. Then we can have a battle, and it'll be permadeath and all tragic and sad. And I can name my people when I go through the campaign after Aimless People and like stream it or something. That'll be really fun.
That's gonna be really fun.
And I got two.
I would watch your battle with RPG. That'd be awesome.
And then it was funny because I was like, well, my DualShock's kind of worn out, and Gran Turismo is going to come out, and I'm going to wear it out again, or just even more, so I need a new DualShock. And then I was looking on Amazon, and like the colors is really funny because I got like super picky at that moment. I was like, why am I even being picky right now when the price is so low? I was like, well, I want a silver one, but they're not showing up as $34.99. And I already have a blue one, but it's worn out, so I guess I'll replace that one. And I was like, well, and then after I already put my order in for like those 3 things, I was like, well, I kind of want another one in a different color now, because having 2 blue ones is kind of, And I was like, take a listen to yourself, you sound so weird right now. And so I ended up getting a one of the gold metallic ones, and I also picked up the God of War Saga collection with that in that order. So I was like, well, it's all the God of War games on, well, not all of them, but most of them on one disc. It's like, if I ever feel the need to. And like those are all in my backlog anyway, so I just put the disc in and be like, I'm not taking this out until I finish all these games on this disc. So that will be happening sometime next year, hopefully.
So you got it was when it was $12?
It was $14.99 when I ordered it.
Oh, okay. It went lower than that later. I thought, I was like, was this that cheap yesterday? and I almost bought it for a bunch of people.
I had that happen to me actually. I bought when I got off of work and I was looking around for stuff. I didn't get anything, but then I came back the next day and I got a or Paper Mario Sticker Star on the
Oh yeah,
3DS.
it was $10, right?
It was $10 online, but it was supposed to be like 15 bucks. But then I paid 20 for it. But I was like, I could go ask for the amount back, and I was like, whatever. I'm not even. There's like too many people in here right now. I'm not gonna try to make any scene or anything. I'm just like, whatever. 20 bucks. It's worth it. So I was like, yeah, whatever. It's like 20. Like that's the Joji Gundam rule anyway. It's like 20 bucks or lower. You're not paying too much. So yeah, just all that stuff in those, all the Vita memory cards, and that's all I got. And then like surprisingly, the Steam sale, I didn't buy anything. So I was like, what? So it looks like this game moratorium might happen because like it was so crazy too because I was like looking at the games and I was like, got it, got it.
Yeah.
Not interested, not interested. So it's like now it's just becoming, and then like any game I would like stop and pause to like think about, should I get this? I'd be like, wait a minute, I have too many games. I don't need this game. So it's like now my backlog is becoming a deterrent on purchasing games. So it's like it's just so overwhelmingly large of, you don't need this, I can walk away. You've already won. It's like, okay, voice in my head. A reason that I can't have when I'm looking at games that are going to cost me money to buy. So that was fun. It's like funny because I didn't expect to buy anything. I was like, come on, Vita, fingers crossed. And Vita was on sale, and I was like, okay, what else do I need? Controller. And then it's like the thing I overlooked was I could have got like a super awesome, cheap, like hard drive for my future PS4 or my current PS3, even though. But then I looked at my PS3 and it's fine on space. It's like 300 gigabytes for free. So I'm like, oh, I don't need another. So like, yeah, a terabyte for a PS3 hard drive is pretty good. So you don't really need to go bigger, but I do want to go bigger.
Yeah.
So just because I know, PlayStation Plus is just going to keep on pumping out the awesome deals. So that's on my list for next year is a like 4 terabyte hard drive or something crazy for my PS3.
Wow.
Just throw all the digital stuff on there and be like, I can play for years.
Yeah, this year it was, I mean, I guess I've always known. I think I was best last year or the year before when I waited for all the buy two get one free stuff in order to get games or before getting games. This year, I don't think I didn't see any buy two get ones frees. It was all just like discounts on, and I didn't realize this before, but I suppose they were all mainstream games that were discounted. So like Battlefield, Call of Duty, the others slipped my mind. Those are the big mainstream games. And yeah, it was just like, oh, these are on sale. And I know I got a decent deal with it earlier when I bought the digital ones on PSN, but this would be even cheaper. And yeah, that sort of killed it all for me. Like, yeah, maybe next year we do go for the no games. Backlog beat down.
Yeah, actually, I even like tweeted afterward. I was like, I don't remember this happening ever. Because like I thought the sale ended on Monday, but it ended on Sunday. Or I thought it ended on the 3rd, which was on yesterday. So I thought it ended on Tuesday, but it ended on Monday. So I ended up not getting anything. So I was planning on getting stuff on Tuesday when I was like looking at the last day stuff. But then the sale already ended. I was like, oh, the Steam sale is over, and I've not bought anything. Looks like the game moratorium of 2014 might happen. I tweeted.
Yeah.
So it's like, this could happen.
Well, I mean, with the Steam sale for me, one, they didn't have any sort of gaminess to it. Like sometimes they do games with the Steam sale, and then I get into that. But with this Steam sale, there was just nothing. It was like, these things are on sale, and I looked at them and was like, I'm probably not going to play that now. Probably not going to play that. Probably not going to play that now. And so it just became, it's like, well, if I'm not going to play any of them now, I might as well wait. And Steam sales essentially, like, they happen every year. So I can probably wait for those. And then for console games, it was kind of like that. Like I saw games that for example, Hitman Absolution I got for $30, I think, last year, and it was like, oh, that's a really good deal because it just came out. And then I have not played it. And now it's like $15.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like when you've like been doing this for so long, you like know the rules of like it's going to
Yeah.
drop even more. Because like if something's like just come out and it's at 30, you can wait even more and it'll be at 20 or lower eventually.
Yeah.
If you're not going to get around to playing it, so you might as well wait, man. Do what Yoshi Gundam would do.
You look at these like Angry Birds Star Wars. Okay, whatever. But it is now $20 cheaper than it was at release. And it released, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And yeah, just like the prices are dropping really fast. I think retailers really are kind of abandoning current gen, even though there's going to be more. Oh, we need to sell lots of them now.
Yeah, I also read I don't know where I read it, but someone like tweeted out, or there was somewhere on Facebook, someone put something about like a Sony exec on NeoGAF said, the Wii U was dead or something because like at retail, they're like the retailers only have so much space to like put Xbox 360 and Xbox One and PS3 and PS4. Like Wii U's not really, holding the line there on sales.
Yeah.
So there's only so much space before you have to like just start slashing prices on everything to get rid of it.
It is pretty true. Although like Wii U stuff really hasn't. I don't think many of the prices. There weren't.
I saw one for $249 on eBay, and I almost bought it. Like after I bought my Vita, I was like, "Dude, that's the golden price tag," and it came with Super Mario Luigi or Super Luigi, and I was like, but then I was like, "Dude, A, I don't need it. B, PS4, dude." It was like I'd rather get a PS4. It's like right now, like my mindset is just like hold out for PS4 Steam machine, hold out for PS4 Steam machine. It's like Wii U is irrelevant, not part of discussion. No, it's a drop.
Yeah, right now, I mean, it's probably gonna be impossible because at E3, PS4 stuff, and I have a PS4. Like something awesome is gonna be announced, and already, Infamous, super looking forward to it. Beyond that, I guess there's not anything I'm super looking forward to. Although if they, if Rocksteady announces a new Batman for next year, like I will probably get that game. So it's hard to say, but right now it does feel like there's a bit of control.
I know, right? I felt like so proud of myself. I was like, the last couple of years I've kind of overdone it. This year, not so much. I think I'm finally coming out on the other side of the tunnel where I can control this madness.
So it just seems like, the backlog. We'll hopefully see some progress next year. I mean, Black Friday. Did I get anything? Oh, I got Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus. I saw it for 15, and then that one was crazy. Like I would have been mad if I got it 30. I think it came out a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the same thing with the XCOM. It came out like the day before the PS4 because I was like, what? At like 40, and then it's like 25, and I'm like, oh, okay, now you got me now.
So I got that, but no, I guess like even shopping, I didn't really even shop. It was just sort of because GameStop had some deals that I thought were interesting, but I didn't go and was like, I want this. This is a really good deal. I'm gonna go get it. It was more like, if I'm in the area, maybe I'll go check it out. And then I did, and it was crazy. Like I wanted Disney Infinity characters, buy one get one free. It's like, oh, that's a really good deal. And by the time I got there, I think it was the next day, and they only had one Infinity character left. And I was like, well, that's sad. You guys had an odd number, and obviously no one is going to buy the one character that's left, no matter who it is. I mean, it's Woody. It's a character that people actually like. And I was like, but there's only one, and so they're not going to get their free one, and so no one's going to buy that one. And so I went. It's like, these are some good deals, but I am not super, like, I don't need to have them. Like the other thing I looked at was Kingdom Hearts for $20. Like I haven't played one of them, and I actually maybe didn't finish Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm not really sure, but I do like HD remixes. And I was like, nah, probably not. And then what was it? Metroid Prime Trilogy that that GameStop has been trying to rip people off on is it was $40 for Black Friday and Saturday, and I was like, okay, so that's like a $40 decrease on their usual price, and I would like to play Metroid Prime at some point, but yeah, there's the keyword at some point, and even though I will probably not be able to find this game later on, it's like, well, it's hard to say, you know. Maybe in the future, it's like, well, then if I can't find it, then I just won't play it. And yeah, there was a lot of games like that where I saw them, like, that is a really good deal, and then it was like, like the Paper Mario thing. I saw it for $10, and I thought about it. It's like, no. I have a Paper Mario. I think it's on GameCube, and I don't think I finished that one either.
It's also funny, like every time I buy a game, like with this whole like backlog thing, I'm like, I didn't really need to buy that. I feel like a bit of regret and remorse afterward. I'm like, I didn't really need that, did I? Oh well. It was like $10.
Yeah, like, yeah, it depends. If it's cheap enough, then it feels like, okay, you know, I don't think it will probably get a little bit cheaper, but by then, you know, it's going to be GameStop's used games. You know, maybe not even the case is going to be there anymore, and I don't really care about cases, but, you know, what happened to this disc that it doesn't have a case anymore? And then it's also very annoying to shop through that it's always disorganized, and you just have to go through everything to find something good. It's like $10, you know, compared to what? It's gonna drop to maybe $7 or $8, so that's not too much of a difference. And it's a new copy, and so yeah, those seem okay. Yeah. I suppose, well, it might have to do with the PS4 backlog that I just sort of start with. Just having that, and I've only finished Resogun. I've been playing Knack, and Knack, I thought it would be a shorter game, but it's a much longer game than I thought. And so I was like, okay, maybe to just sort of beat into this backlog, I'm gonna play Battlefield 4 or Call of Duty, and like, but I've played them already, and you know, I'm mainly here for multiplayer right now, and Battlefield 4's multiplayer doesn't work, and Call of Duty is well, it's Call of Duty. And Killzone is really long too, and just like, man, all these games are really long. Killzone's really long. Assassin's Creed 4 is really long. Need for Speed Rivals is really long. Contrast is not the tiny, really short game that I thought it was. Yeah, the other free-to-play ones, they don't end. You can play them forever. And yeah, I have free-to-play games, and DC Universe Online looks amazing now, and I do want to play that one now, but it's just like, so many games. And then, yeah, then I opened my CD folder, like, oh my gosh, there's all these in here.
It's funny, like when you like at back, like you just like look around and be like, "Oh, here's a reason not to buy this game I was thinking about just a second ago."
Yeah.
Good. And there's a bunch more stacked on top of that one.
I mean, I don't know that all of this is gonna deter me from Gran Turismo 6 later, but I think it works as a deterrent on a lot of other games.
Yeah, I came to that conclusion too because I was like, you know, it's like I have this like threshold in my brain of like how anticipated am I for this? It's like it has to be something that like I have to be playing the day it comes out, and for me to like break my rule. So it's like I don't think I'll be able to make it through like the year next year, like buying indie games at all. That just seems impossible because it's like A, there's games that like I have to play them the day they come out, and then it's like B, there's just gonna be sales on games that are just like too good to pass up. So it's just like I can't not buy it because it's just such a good deal. I mean, once you're under 20, it's like, man, that's just you just can't pass it up. That's just too good of a deal.
So now, see, we've hit on reality. we understand the limitations of a no new game year, but we are improving.
It's like you have to like put like special rules, and it's like I could probably buy a game a quarter, and by that I mean $60 new brand new that day. Not counting Steam sales or PSN sales or free PSN games or free Xbox Live games.
Yeah.
Actually, free games shouldn't count because they're free, so yeah. So not counting free games at all next year because, PlayStation Plus, that's what it's for.
Yep.
Or when they discount them to $10, like Ni no Kuni today. When I bought it, I was like, yes!
Oh, man.
Such an awesome
Dang
deal.
it.
Or was that yesterday?
I haven't finished that one either.
See?
Exactly.
Then sometimes you gotta be like, you know what, man? Sometimes, if the game's on sale and like you got a ton of games in your bag, it's like, whatever, man. Like that price is so good. Who cares if I'm adding to an already large ocean that just keeps flooding my islands of time? Because there's never enough.
So yeah, like Black Friday for me, it was just the PlayStation Plus for 30. I got Diablo 3 because everyone else I played with seemed cool with it. It's like, okay, and so they were like, okay, we're all switching to console, and I was like, oh. So I got that for 40, I think it was, and then did I get it? Oh, well, Mass Effect was on sale. Well, kind of. There was the rebate thing that they did. And then, yeah, that was it. No Black Friday games for me.
Wow, that's a surprise. But then again, like you did just say, you got like the whole PS4 launch, so.
Yep.
In light of that, it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
I was like hovering over the PSN for like a year for 30, but then like I realized that I have like a ton of years already, and I'm just gonna wait for them to run out before I buy another one.
Really?
Because at this point, there's no reason to stack them.
You have a ton of years on it?
I don't know if I have a ton, but I have more than one.
It was weird. Like, I thought I did, but then I went in and it was like, oh. Yeah, I guess thinking about it, I didn't pay for it that many times, so why would I have a year? Why would I have years of it? I think mine ends in June of next year, which I guess 2 years ago felt like a long time.
I think it was like they always have those things in like the store when it's like they're running like buy like however many and you get like a free $10 credit in the store or something. And I'm like, okay, or something. Or some sort of promotion. I always like fall for it.
Okay.
So like I know I have plenty of PSN years left on my account. Or how can you check?
If you go into account management on the PlayStation and then you go to subscriptions.
Account management subscriptions.
Or like a transaction history or something like that. It's one of those. And then one of them will have subscriptions in there, and then it'll show you all the things that you have subscriptions to.
Oh, the services list?
Yeah. And then one of them, PlayStation Plus, will be in there. And you click on it, and it'll tell you how long, when it expires.
PlayStation Plus. Loading. Mine expires in 2014 of June.
Oh. About the same.
Oh, so maybe I should have bought that. Because it will expire before I... Dang it. Can pick up another one for that cheap.
Perhaps there will be another deal. Now that it's required, I think there's going to be more sales on it. Or the one that I used to go for all the time was the buy a year and get 3 months.
Yeah.
So like 15-month subscription.
Oh, did I talk about Borderlands 2?
No.
I completely forgot I was playing Borderlands 2. I played the Water Gobbler DLC. It was fun. As Torg in it, and he's all like yelling. It's funny because he can't talk normally, so it's like every time he says a sentence, it's always yelling. So it's just hilarious. So I'll say like the most mundane things in like the craziest tone of just like it's just so insane. It's just hilarious. And he had like this conversation with his grandma about Thanksgiving, or I don't remember what it was. It was about like him growing up. It was hilarious. It was great. I enjoyed it a lot. And I got a weird head I did not expect from that one when you finished it. I thought it was going to be a turkey head with some other weird creature, but I guess it's Borderlands 2, so it makes sense to be weird. So yeah.
So what else do we got? Well, So, I suppose there is a little bit of news with Gran Turismo 6 coming out. What do we call the guy who makes Gran Turismo?
Isn't it Kazunori?
Yeah, the movie coming out is called Kaz, but usually that refers to the other guy. But anyway, he got a street named after himself in honor of his contribution to the car industry. I don't know how that's related, but that happened, and they had a really cool launch event that was fun to read about, or fun to look at pictures of. I didn't read any of it. PlayStation 4 has apparently sold 2.1 million units worldwide, which is pretty crazy, since everyone thought, well, I don't know if everyone thought, but a lot of people felt like these consoles would not sell as many because people don't want consoles anymore. Just look at Wii U, but we know better.
Actually, how many didn't Wii U only sell like a couple 100K the first year?
Yeah,
so basically PS4 has already beaten out the first year sales of Wii U, but that's kind of expected because Wii U's been not doing that great.
I mean, if you look in the past, most of the time in your first year you sell maybe 1 million by the end of the year, and they almost always came out in November or around this time. And so, like, the only one I've looked at recently was the 360 sold 320,000 units from November 22nd to the end of November, so like in that 1 week. And then then PlayStation 4 just destroyed all of the records from before with 1 million units in 2 countries in 1 day. So who knows what the number for November is going to be, because they came out.
Yeah, that's also like funny when you look at the PR that Xbox One put out for their million sold. It's like worldwide, whereas Sony was just like, we sold 1 million in the US launch, yay, or North America. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
North America launch. So it's like US and Canada versus all the other countries that Microsoft launched in that include US and Canada.
So it was, there's been a lot of, they're not really news, it's just like people talking about that. It's like, this isn't really the same, because 1 million in one country versus 1 million worldwide, and then when they said the 2.1 million thing for Sony, Microsoft announced, we're sold out everywhere, and people have killed a lot of zombies, and yeah. Like, yeah, again, not really the same thing. Anyway, I can't remember what else there was.
Where's the whole Battlefield 4 not working?
Well, yeah, but that's old. That's been going on for.
I didn't even like know that, and I read it on Polygon, and I was like, oh, I guess this has been going on for a while. This is kind of sad. And they're like, yeah, we're not gonna make any more expansions until the game works. So sorry, dudes.
Oh, speaking of which, it was really funny today. I saw an ad for Call of Duty Ghosts, and if you follow the big press places, like Ghosts has been maybe the lowest reviewed Call of Duty in a while, but the ad still had all the 100s and 97s. It's just that if you look carefully at the places that gave those scores, like, you have never heard of any of these sites. Yeah, that was really funny. Yeah, Battlefield. It is sad to see. So many things can go wrong at launch, I suppose. Well, I guess Microsoft announced their first wave of ID at Xbox independent developers who are on the program, and so some of those games are. Well, I guess the big thing is you don't have to be exclusive to Xbox or launch simultaneously multi-platform anymore to publish on Xbox. So that means now there can be timed exclusives on PSN. So, for example, Dive Kick is going to be on Xbox One. I suspect that game, though, not many people bought it on PlayStation. I've never been able to play a match online.
So what's the next gaming event? Is it E3 or is there something before that, like GDC or DICE?
The next game thingy?
Like press event for like a lot of unveils. Well, I guess there's GDX or whatever it's called this year.
Yeah, VGX is I guess it's all day now. It's gonna be December 7th.
Okay,
So all day stuff streaming online, and then the show is gonna be like 3 hours or something.
Well, I was kind of disappointed with the PlayStation stuff, so I'm hoping it's more awesome.
Yeah, so far all the announcements that they're saying are going to be there are Xbox games. So Titanfall, Quantum Break, some other things.
I saw The Division and a Wii U game on on Polygon right now.
So yeah, that will be interesting. People are pretty pumped for it because I guess it is the next big thing, and it does tend to have reveals. I mean, The Last of Us was there last year, or was it the year before? I don't remember. I think Uncharted was revealed on that show also, or Uncharted 3. So there could be some exciting stuff, but yeah, after that, sometimes things at CES, GDC, and then then E3 again in. I want to say
so far away. June or July, one of those. So far away right now.
Oh, there was an exciting thing for Sega fans where
oh yeah, they gave it to Atlas, right?
Yeah, Sega's like, hey Atlas, welcome to the family. If you see any properties here that you'd like to make a game out of, go ahead.
That'll be awesome.
And everyone is like, Shamu 3. Apparently Square Enix is doing something sort of similar where before, Square Enix and indie developers, you often hear Square Enix told this guy to shut down his production of a remake of whatever game. But now they're testing a what they call it, some sort of licensing agreement where basically they will help you promote your mod if they think it helps their property. So for example, Just Cause 2, there was a guy or group who made a multiplayer mod for Just Cause 2, so a ton of people can run around together in that game now. And it just got released officially with Square Enix's blessing. And so you can actually, I think the program is called Collective. And so right now you can submit ideas for like fan projects based off Square Enix properties. And then if they're okay with it and you can get funding and you can make it and all that, then they will help you promote it and stuff. It's like, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I guess all the Atlas stuff happened over the week that we didn't record, right?
Yeah.
So lots of Persona games coming. Persona 5, there's a new Persona fighting game that I guess is a sequel to the other fighting game. There's a 3DS Persona game coming out that is sort of like a miniaturized version of the characters in 3 and 4, and they go on some sort of adventure. And then I think the Vita is getting a Dance Dance Revolution style Persona game, which according to the trailer has a story and it's a Persona type story. It's a rhythm dancing game. So that's kind of weird, but whatever. I mean, let's be honest, the games are kind of weird. Why not?
Oh, did you see the thing about the NVIDIA Shield with 1080p 60 FPS streaming?
Oh yeah,
So yeah,
that
someone did do
really.
it.
That's a 60 frames too. Very crazy. I guess yeah, there was an article about remote play between the Vita and the PS4, and it's not as good as the Wii U gamepad, and it's somewhere in between the Wii U gamepad and the Nvidia Shield. Although Nvidia Shield is now not the one that they compared it with. Now it can stream to your TV, and so yeah, it's hard to say how remote play will turn out. If it's a software thing, if it's a hardware thing, we will see. Anything else?
Oh, there was I read it. I read an article on Forbes where they said that the first licensed Steam machine was like $500 or something, but I don't know if that's true.
Hmm.
I hope it's not true. Now that I'm rebuilding my PS4 / Steam machine war chest.
Okay, well, I guess that's all the news we have then.
Alrighty. So we have no idea when RPG will be back because he's been like inundated with cooking gigs. I guess is what I'll call that. Cooking gigs.
Yes, it's busy.
But yeah. Actually, I bought this magical cable that I can use to hook up all my old consoles to my Elgato, so I can like use it as a pass through on my monitor and still record, so I can use it just like I can for my other stuff to like stream it and everything. So I can continue the backlog beatdown even on my retro consoles. So that will be fun. So I'm gonna try to get all my stuff set up for next year when I go. Next year's gonna be so awesome. I'm gonna try to set it all up to be all streaming and recording and podcasting and YouTubing, and it'll be great. I might even do a few game reviews. Who knows? Yeah. Like as I finish them, it'd be like from the backlog reviews from the backlog or something. Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting year.
And hopefully my revenue that I'm earning keeps going up and up and up, and who knows where that will take me. Because more money is always awesome. Yeah. Alright, I guess we can sign off here then with the... Do you have anything to sign off with, Tropical?
Nope. Thanks for listening. We will continue to do this. Yeah, hopefully I'm thinking more videos in the future. If this Pamela thing doesn't work out.
Oh, we need to find a solution for that. I'm gonna ask someone right after the podcast. I'm gonna do that. And then we can hopefully save the day for the iTunes thingy angle. But yeah, thanks for watching. F the haters. Have fun playing whatever you're playing. And who cares what the haters say. So yeah. And will RPG Maniac return next episode? Will Take Another Topical finish another game from their backlog? Will we see the Steam machine unveiled finally? Or prices or something? Find out on the next episode of Aimless Babble Z. Okay. And anybody in the stream that was out there listening the whole time, thanks. Or on the archive that you're listening to now, because it's archived. Thanks for listening, and yeah. Feel free to let us... Oh, we had a comment from Monkey King. I completely forgot about it from like a couple episodes ago. Oh, well, we can talk about it next week. About the 360 and stuff. But yeah, that's it for the Aimless Babble Z live this week. And we'll be back again next week, yeah. So, laters and stuff.